Welcome to the Tabs and Tash Podcast. I'm your host, Abdul, with my co-host,
Tashi here.
Tashi. Today's a good day.
Yeah, today's a good day.
I'm feeling your energy pouring on me.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
in a good way. Not in a bad way. Anyway, we're in today. Today we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. God damn it, I'm with that energy. Artificial intelligence
Yeah, artificial
by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Would you say also Kubrick too? Would you say he's on it? Or would you just say it's a Spielberg movie? What would you say?
I'd say Spielberg movie, but with like definitely the Kubrick helped out on it, right?
I would say it's a Kubrick movie that was given to Spielberg
Yeah.
to finish up.
That's true.
But Kubrick is so weird, right? Before we go into the movie, just to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about it, like apparently it took 20 years. Like he was working on it for 20
Yeah.
years. Kubrick
Because technology wasn't there, right?
wasn't there, right?
And then he saw like, I think it was like Jurassic Park or something. And he's like, oh, maybe it is possible.
Maybe it's possible.
No. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, this is a really good movie. It's like a futuristic movie about what could be with AI. I'm sure probably any engineering student that is or computer science student probably has watched this movie. It's like, you know what, I want.
Dude,
There
this
should
is,
be a research. Maybe after people watch these movies,
yeah.
they wanted to be like software engineers or something. Probably that happened.
Yeah, dude, this is a film that they show in like our school, like in elementary school and
Really?
high school for like religion classes. Or I've had friends that it's like you watch like different movies, but this is like one of them. A lot of my friends that like I was talking to about it, they're like, yeah, we watched it in high school, Tashi. I'm like, I don't remember watching this one, but like, yeah, I guess it's got a lot of deep themes and stuff. I guess so that's
Yeah.
why.
All right, wait. So like I was saying, like I think it's a movie that should be watched. Like you were saying, sorry, I got cut there. You were showing you this at school.
Yeah, it's like one.
Why
of those
though?
I think because of I'm pretty sure it was like a religion or English class. They would show it for like,
Our religion.
dude, I don't
That's
know.
weird. I find that
'Cause
actually.
I think some of the moral stuff and everything like that.
Mm,
And I guess like, yeah, there's a lot of interesting themes that you can explore.
yeah.
Self-identity and yeah.
All right. So you want to give us a synopsis, then we get into it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. boy.
So yeah, this is A.I Artificial Intelligence, directed by Steven Spielberg. So the film is kind of reminiscent of the Pinocchio story.
Yep.
But instead of a marionette, we have a robotic child. And the robotic child is played by Haley Joel Osment.
Best child actor ever,
Yeah,
in my personal opinion. That will be a debate. I think we'll
that's
talk
definitely
about
that's
it.
definitely a debate. But he's really special in this case because this is the first child robot manufactured. So currently, like, it's a bit of a post-apocalyptic world. There's like climate change, rising sea levels, and it's hard for humans. So there's these human-looking robots that are only adults so far
Yeah.
that are like
Pretty
already
much to work for people, right?
Yeah, they're already populating the
Yeah.
world. But David is kind of special in that he's the first robot that's also created with emotions and the ability to love,
Programmed emotions.
programmed emotions. But yeah, so then this boy David is adopted by a family, Monica and Henry, whose organic child is in like a state of like self-suspension. He's got like
Maybe
a disease.
coma or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it really explained? I don't think it's explained.
It's kind of just like very subtly explained.
But he's in like in this how would you say, like ice thin
Yeah,
bed
he's like in some kind of like incubation.
incubator. I wanted to
Yeah.
say that, but I wasn't sure if I should say that. But yeah.
Yeah, so David kind of just gets officially adopted by this family, and
Mm.
it's like imprinted into him that he's programmed for this family. And then we kind of just follow David in this story of like personal acceptance and human condition and all these kind of moral things. But yeah, it just kind of goes from there. The family's dealing with the grief of their own son, so they're trying to get used to the first robotic child.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we should go back to the beginning, how it starts. So it's pretty much this professor.
Yep.
Who wants to build AIs, or he builds AIs already, and
Yeah.
he's showing this class, or you could probably say investors, about this idea of having robot kids, AI kids to help families, because they were having a problem with pregnancy, right? At the beginning of the movie tells you that there's a low pregnancy rate
Yeah.
And so he decided to make robot kids that can love and dream,
Mm-hmm.
And I found a very good line where someone asked him, like, the black lady in the movie, she says,
Yeah.
well, what if humans don't how do you pronounce it?
Reciprocate kind of that love.
The same love to the
Yeah.
robot. And he said a really good line. Now I get why there's the religion indications or why your school said you should watch that movie,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of religious reference from the Bible too.
Yeah.
So the thing he says is like, when God made Adam, he made him to love him. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but
Yeah.
pretty much the idea was that God made Adam so Adam would love him.
Yeah.
So he's using the same idea that, okay, I'm making him to love us. We don't have to show that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually God loves you, because in the Bible it says God loves us too, right? That's why he made us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found that a bit deep. Did you get that same feeling with that statement or at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, for sure. I really, the one thing when she says like, yeah, can a human love a robot?
Yeah.
It's pretty deep, because like it's not another human. It's very strange. Like, you can love certain like inanimate objects and stuff, but like to really love something,
Love something.
like a parent
Unconditionally.
and a child. So yeah, the movie starts off like right off the bat, like you're just like thrown into this
Thrown
world.
into
They
it.
tell you about it, and then
You
it
have to
goes.
deal with it.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the family, Henry and Monica, who are having this issue where their son is in incubator. Yeah, good. I'm so bad at words. Can you go ahead?
Incubator. Yeah.
Thank you. You be my
Yeah.
dictionary.
Martin is the organic son. Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that, and at the moment, Monica's going through this emotions where she's not happy, and
Yeah.
fortunately, her husband Henry is working in the same industry as
Part of the
professor.
Cybertronics.
Cybertronic
yeah.
industry, and then they pick him to
Be the first
be
family.
the first family to have this kid, and they bring David over, and
Yeah.
right from the bat, maybe because it's Steven, the director, maybe he wanted to make it creepy,
Yeah.
but the whole like David at the beginning is really creepy. Like you sense it, like, I mean, and maybe that's the idea of how a robot will be in the
Yeah.
future, where they don't have any emotions, they don't understand
Yeah.
the human intelligence of like, okay, you're going too far. He's just like, tell me to do this, I'll do it.
Mhm.
And I'm programmed to love you, so I'm just going to love you anyhow,
Yeah.
whether you're uncomfortable with it or you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, and like the whole intro is like David's just like a real kid. He like doesn't know anything. He's just like learning, following what the parents do.
Yeah.
Yo, did you catch the introduction of David when they introduced him opening the door and then the light figure? And it's just like, you see the light figure and it's just like a long, skinny kind of.
So it's like reference to the alien
It's
thing?
foreshadowing the future.
Ooh.
That David might be the first.
I didn't click
So,
on that. That's
Yo,
good.
that was like, I was like, dude, what is going on with this light thing? Like, why is he like?
I just thought it was some blurry. You know how aliens look?
Yeah.
They're always blurry.
Yeah,
and stuff,
so
but yeah, okay.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that
shout
was really
at
cool.
the beginning.
But the trick to the robot too, I guess the most important part is that if you say a certain code to to David,
Mhm.
he's gonna love you unconditionally. Like, he's gonna be attached to the mother.
Yeah,
I don't know why they picked the mom, not the dad, or both parents, but it seems like, okay, maybe it's whoever says it, because the dad
Yeah.
didn't say it.
yeah,
So maybe because Monica said it, David gets unconditionally attached to
Yeah.
Monica and wants to do everything in his programming mind to make sure she loves him.
yeah, and that's like the big catch of the movie too, because like once you do that, like David's like imprinted and programmed for Monica.
Forever.
So if he gets returned, they can't reprogram him.
Yeah, they
He's
have
gonna
to
just
destroy him.
destroy him. Yeah.
They have to
So
destroy
that
him.
foreshadow like some like
Yeah.
scary stuff that could happen, and it kind of
Yeah.
begins.
So then Monica obviously eventually bit by bit starts liking
yeah, she
David,
adjusts.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Although there's some weird uncomfortable part. Remember the part where she's in the washroom and it's
Bathroom,
like,
yeah.
oh, now I found you, because they're having like a
little hide and seek thing. Yeah.
game. And it's weird, and as she starts to like him, he gets to a point where it's unconditional. So she's going out for a party
Yeah.
and she uses some perfume. So he wants to be like her so much because she likes her perfume too. So
Yeah.
he goes and uses the whole thing, probably
Yeah.
some expensive perfume.
Yeah.
And then she finds out, but at that moment she's liking David.
Yeah.
So she decides to go give David her kid's toy
Yeah.
called Teddy.
Teddy. Yeah. The super toy.
The
That's
super-
not really
yeah,
so
super toy.
super anymore.
And
Yes.
do you know who voiced Teddy? I didn't actually catch that.
I don't remember, but did you, dude, that was a cool part when Teddy even at the very start, he's like, yo, I'm not
Just
a
look for
toy.
that. Yeah, I'm not a toy.
So there's all the characters they have, like especially the robotic characters, like what their identity, like who they are, like do they have like emotions and stuff. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny when like Teddy's just like, yeah, I'm not a toy. I'm like and he's very important to the
So
story
that's
overall.
Jack Angel.
Oh, okay.
And Jack Angel has done movies like Voltron.
So he's like a voice actor. Yeah, he's a voice
Pretty
actor.
much a voice actor.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing some Transformer stuff,
Yo.
Superman stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of cartoon stuff, voice acting stuff.
Yeah.
Probably a legend. Sorry if we don't know you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Tash.
I did not know this guy.
But yeah, Teddy's an amazing addition to the movie. I think he just puts the balance of. He almost feels like, to me, like a guardian angel. Like he doesn't do much, but he's
always there.
He's always there. Always there to help you, whether you like him or don't like him. He'll always be there. So yeah, David gets just so we skip scenes a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets Teddy. He builds a connection with Teddy. Then eventually, the real kid comes back, right?
Yeah, Martin is cured.
Martin's cured and back.
Yeah, that's when some conflict starts to occur in the family, you know.
Yeah, and I think it just shows the natural structure of how kids are. Kids are honest, right?
Yeah.
So he comes, he sees another kid, and he's jealous. He's like, "Oh, my mom is giving you attention, loving you, and holding you.
Yeah.
Nope, this is not gonna happen." And he starts being a bit mean. Yeah. He's just following his natural instincts of like jealousy, anger.
Yeah. And he's the older brother, right? So he's got to like kind of challenge. And he does say some like, he calls him a doll and everything like that.
And David's there just accepting everything, right? He pretty much compares David to Teddy.
Yeah.
But at that point, David thinks he's better than Teddy because he sees himself higher, right?
Yeah.
And there's the funny scene where they're having spinach.
Oh my goodness.
He sees Martin eating spinach. He's like, I'm going to eat more than you.
And just as a heads up, like David can't eat. He's like a robot, so he can't eat real food. So all he does is like mimic like the fork movements. Yeah. But this time he like sees Martin eating and Martin's kind of like showing that, oh, I can eat, but you can't. And then he starts eating and like has like a semi-stroke on the side of his face. And
was creepy.
It was freaky, yeah.
But then it moves to the part where, so after that scene, Martin's definitely at that point jealous of David because David goes in for a repair and the mom is really concerned, even though it's a robot. And it just shows the human empathy, right? I think they didn't use men for some reason. I think it was probably a good idea not to use that, using a man to have that kind of connection. Maybe a woman can portray that more, the connection between a mom and a child.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was really good. So then, as I said, David was having this operation, and Martin's there and seeing his mom holding David, and I think he says, "I love you."
Or
something
like
that.
Oh, he says like, "Yeah, don't worry, mom, it doesn't hurt."
Yeah, don't worry, mom, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So Martin gets home and then pretty much plots that. That's so smart for a kid to do that, to think about and be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I know what to do, so I did send you away. Go cut off my mom's hair."
Yeah, while she's sleeping.
And that'll make you, that'll make you a real boy, or that'll make her love you more? Sorry, that'll make you. So he does that, gets in trouble, but Monica lets it slide, right?
Yeah. But that's when like the father kind of really starts turning
being
on.
Concerned, It's like, okay, we have our real son back. Can we send this away now?
Yeah. And then it all kind of culminates in the birthday party when Martin is having his own birthday party and he's with all of his like real friends that are real kids. And they start playing with David and they get to a point where they're going to cut him and see how he reacts because he's so lifelike.
Again, it depicts how kids are. Kids are just, they're run by emotions at that age. So they were being mean to him, like, hey, you are not real.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're about to cut him. Sorry for cutting you out.
Nah.
No pun intended. But he goes to, the kids are trying to cut him to show him that, like, to see if he can feel pain.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing is that he goes to the big brother. It's like, hey, protect me, like, save me, and you can go ahead with that other part. What happens after?
Yeah.
If you want.
But it is actually nice because at that part, there is like parts where Martin's like, yo, guys, cut it out.
Yeah.
Like, he actually acts like a big brother. So that is that thing. Like, there is a brotherly connection between them where he like teases him, of course. But like, if he gets bullied, he kind of tries to protect him. But then David kind of goes a little bit too defensive, grabs Martin around the arms and kind of slips into the pool, and they're both drowning.
He doesn't want to let him go.
He doesn't want to let him go. He's like afraid and just hopes that his brother will protect
Yeah.
him. And then as they drown, the parents jump in and they save Martin, of course, and they leave David
in
to
there.
drown.
And who's the other person, or who's the only thing that comes to David's side? Teddy.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, he's a guardian angel. He just comes and is like, okay, we are like, I'm gonna come here.
Yeah.
But then that just changes the whole story, because then David has to be sent away, because to be sent to be destroyed pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is like, and this is where like the first portion of the film kind of culminates, this nice little kind of family dynamic where Monica takes David for a drive back to Cybertronics, obviously,
To get destroyed.
And as partway there, she kind of realizes like, I don't think I can go through with this. She stops in like the forest and tries to just drop David off. But David kind of is going through this whole process of understanding like, oh man, like why doesn't she love me anymore and all this? And so she just kind of has to just force David away, push him away, and just drive away, kind of crying, and says like, yo, don't go this way.
Don't go that way. Yeah.
Don't trust humans.
You're going to destroy.
And then she hits him with the, yo, I wish I could have showed you the world. And that's kind of sad because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah,
he literally knows nothing. He's like a kid. So
I think that's why it's pretty much the same story as Pinocchio, but just in the future. Because Pinocchio was pretty much made in a shop, right?
Yeah.
And then goes and explores the world and meets the fox and just has a bad time. But pretty much that's when the story of, I think, Pinocchio starts. And I think we skipped an important part because Martin did pick a book, right?
Yeah.
The Pinocchio book, and pretty much said, what did he say? He said David's going to enjoy this one.
Yeah. He pretty much just rubbing it and trying to like show him like, yo, you're a doll. This is like...
Something just came to my mind. Another foreshadowing. You know the scene where Martin gives David a toy, or I think David's holding a toy helicopter, and he's like, oh, this is not a toy, they break easily. And in the future he does then drive pretty much the same helicopter, right?
Yeah. Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, we kind of went to the future a little bit. It's that, I mean, I think it fits the idea of the movie.
Yeah, and we're just kind of wrapping up the first part of the film.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the first, 30 minutes you say? 30, 45 minutes?
At least like the first portion of the film.
Yeah, first portion of the movie. And then he goes into the part where now David has his own adventure to try and figure out.
Yeah, it's just...
Because he has left everything behind. He's no longer going to see his mom and
he doesn't...
Martin,
he's totally alone except for Teddy.
Yeah.
And
I think she's also done with Teddy. And I think... Because Martin had already kind of detached himself.
Yeah,
it's
from
like
Teddy.
you're old, you're no longer.
And he gave it to David. So, and at this point, now the only thing that David has going for him is this the story of Pinocchio and the Blue Fairy.
Yes.
So that's like the only
to make him a real boy.
That's the only thing that gives him a hope to keep going.
So the whole idea is that now his adventure is like, if I become a real boy and I come back to my mom, she will love me now, right? So that's when the whole thing starts. Well, that's when the whole thing starts. So then he goes on this adventure. He meets, would you say that Misfits, like robots that people don't want anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I find so ironic? That actually kind of pissed me off a little bit. The whole idea of the movie was like climate change happened, right? But the humans were not recycling anything they were throwing. They're just dumping things. And at first, when I saw the robot coming to pick it up, then I realized, oh, they're not really here to like fix that part. It's just to dump it. Then the other robots too are killed and destroyed, and just thrown away. So they're not actually being productive to stop what happened to earlier, right?
Yeah, I think that also is very obvious as we go on when you see like the dilemma between robots and humans and like the clash of them, and like how humans and robots, if they work together, they could probably accomplish so many like great things, but there's like this huge rift.
Yeah, there's a huge line. I think, like you said, Jude Law's character would definitely expose why probably humans can't really do that because of the inevitable, right?
Yeah. So I think, after that, it's... So
where do we go from here? Okay,
where do we go?
There's this group of people, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much I would call them, they don't like robots. They're just against the idea that like this...
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say the government, because they have high funded. This rich upper class people are trying to produce robots to take over humans, and I guess because of that, they don't like the robots. So they come along, and David's in the pack of, I'll say, misfit robots that are no longer needed.
Yeah. So they have there's these misfit robots that are kind of robots that are on the loose that aren't having like a real function anymore.
Yeah.
They're like older kind of models.
They're broken apart and missing parts.
So David falls in with them, and there's also when Jude Law is introduced as Gigolo Joe, which is kind of
skip that part a little bit.
Yeah, Gigolo Joe is kind of like a sex robot. Yeah, he's a sex robot, and he kind of
like twin his neck.
Yeah, and he plays the music, and it's like seducing people. But Gigolo Joe kind of finds himself in part of a murder.
Yeah.
And he becomes kind of an outlawed robot as well. So he has to be on the run as well. And eventually Gigolo Joe, David, and all these misfits get captured and put into what they call the flesh fair.
Yeah, flesh fair.
Where it's humans just straight up destroying robots.
And I think that's remorse. A very important part of the movie, just to give you the dynamic of how humans can be when turned to the other side, right?
Yeah, and they play it up too with David speaking with the different robots, like the nurse robot, like being so kind to David, helping him out. There's other portions where the one robot even says like, I'm a new model. I was like the first model of my kind.
Yeah, my kind.
Like I'm like the
new. Shouldn't that be antique or something?
Yeah, and then he just ends up getting like melted.
Yeah.
Robots getting torn apart, and it's very like scary. It's like some kind of like Coliseum stuff.
I guess they're enjoying the fact, and I mean, there's a good line. So eventually they're all captured, right? So they're trying to go destroy David. And again, you guys should watch the movie because we're skipping a lot of scenes that could probably be more important or you would like to see. So anyway, he gets captured and he's about to get destroyed.
Yep.
And there's a very good line that I can't remember his name exactly. Do you remember
the ringleader or
the person that captures them? The Lord, he's called Lord Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, played by Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he then is making a speech to the people that this is not a real boy. Like, look at how they're making kids to try and replace real kids. And so the whole idea of the festival is just destroying robots because we don't like robots.
Yeah, because humans like are afraid that they're going to get replaced.
Those people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So then he's getting destroyed, and he says a really good line. And again, it's from the Bible. Let him without sin, which is instead of sin, let him without sin cast first stone, because the throw stone. Yeah. The throw, I don't know if it's stone or like packs of stuff.
Yeah, they have like these little baggy things.
To
hit targets to melt these robots like fucking crazy.
And he pretty much gives us a statement, but because he's a kid, he's like, let me go, I'm a real boy. And he's like, oh, that's a real kid. And pretty much the people start
turning on the ringleader
instead, and then that's how David escapes the scenario, right?
Yeah, so David escapes with Gigolo Joe, and Gigolo Joe kind of feels indebted to David. So this is when David and Gigolo Joe and Teddy are kind of on their adventure together, and it's them three. And Gigolo Joe has know-how of the world, which David doesn't. And introduces him to the idea of going to Rouge City to find the Blue Fairy.
Pretty much a sex city.
Yeah, pretty much a sex city, because he's like, there's women there. That's and that's
what he's programmed to do.
Yeah, so pretty much they get there by just like selling the idea of
some teenage
kids, and they drive in there, and this is when they meet. They go to Dr. No,
who was supposed to know everything. Pretty much a Google.
Yeah, he's pretty much Google.
Search engine that's just programmed by someone, right?
And you have to be like super specific, or else he'll just throw you the wrong way.
Oh yeah, and take your money too.
Yeah, take your money.
So they go meet him, like you said. And, they ask him some questions, right? About like if it's real, if there's a blue fairy, and you can mix different categories, right?
Yeah. So eventually they do stumble upon like some kind of clue that tells them like there's a blue fairy in like a place filled with water, which is Manhattan. And
that's now like a dystopia has been destroyed, like it's been overflooded.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So at this point, David actually kind of feels like he's gonna find the blue fairy. But then Gigolo Joe this is like the point where he kind of sees it's probably not real, and he kind of speaks very honestly to David, and he's like, robots and humans, once you are used up, once you are old, you're going to get replaced. And he talks about like the moral dilemma of humans and robots. Like they'll never get together because robots get built too quickly and they'll outlast all the humans. But David kind of just puts it all aside because he's just focused on his one desire, that is to be a real boy and get his mother's love.
And I mean, we're already spoiling a lot of things. So, but spoiler plot is that the Dr. No was already programmed to pretty much lead David to Manhattan, right?
Yep.
And apparently, side note, Dr. No, who is played by Robin Williams, he actually made that statement, or how would you say it? He's Doctor Who, but he just says the words. What they say again when you like a voice actor? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did all the different voices and the mimicking and stuff.
Apparently he did that a while ago. He did that for Kubrick, like way back before even the movie was made. Yeah, because Kubrick came to him like, "Hey, we want you to do this," and he didn't even know that. And foreshadowing, he then did that movie that came out in 1999, the Blenders Man or something, where he's a robot trying to be a human.
Yeah, Bicentennial Man.
Yeah, Bicentennial Man.
The Blender Man,
yeah.
But yeah, so after that, David is still steadfast, and Gigolo Joe, still in debt to David, is like, yeah, okay, I'll take you as far as we can go. And they end up hijacking a helicopter and pretty much heading to Manhattan, where they do enter the place where David was created. And David kind of has this kind of event where he sees himself and he kind of destroys a version of himself.
Yeah, himself.
Because he feels like
he's the other one. I'm the real boy. I'm the other person.
Yeah.
Pretty much throwing a tantrum.
Yeah. And it's a whole thing where like he's kind of like
just one of many.
Yeah, and he has his own identity too, and he feels like once someone else replaces him, he's gonna be forgotten, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like the Flesh Fair kind of thing, like humans being afraid of robots replacing them.
Yeah.
David was afraid of another robot replacing him, so he destroys it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty like robots can feel the same way.
As I mean, I think that's why David was special, and I think the professor comes in and it's like, you are different. Like you actually dream, like you actually tried your best to be a human, but I think he's contradicting his own code. You had coded something to love something unconditional, and if I told you you have to love me unconditionally, and I told you the way for you to love me unconditionally for you to be a real boy, a robot would do that. Like even though he knows that it's not real, would just, although maybe it's also coded that you're not real. Yeah. So for the robot to break his own code to still go, and
I think that's what the professor says. Like, David, you're like acting outside of your programming. And that's like the very unique thing about him. He was like the first one that had the emotions and the desire. There's like this, just like the idea of like having both knowledge and willpower to kind of just do the things that you know about. So David meets his creator and he finds out that like, yeah, I'm unique in a sense, but they're building more of me. And then when the professor leaves and is going to go bring in the rest of the creators and the people that you see earlier on in the film, David stumbles into like the manufacturing area where he sees just dozens upon dozens of like versions of himself, and he even sees like a female version in a box and a male version, and the boxes move.
So pretty much I think he's a beta test or alpha test to see what happens, and they're just going to produce more Davids and probably the female versions too.
So then he gets to a point where he just finds life meaningless. He just like kind of loses all hope, and he ends up committing suicide off the top of this Manhattan building.
Yeah. So he throws himself into the water or ocean. At that point, I would say it's an ocean.
Yeah, which is an amazing like set piece too. It's just like, especially when you see Gigolo Joe in the helicopter, and you see, and dude, and he falls from the sky, and you see, he kind of reflects in the glass as like a tear in Gigolo Joe's eyes.
Really?
Yeah. So if you watch the scene again, it's like you see him falling, and there's like a reflection, and it's like, and this is another cool historical thing, like because I don't think this movie, they couldn't have done that after 2000 and after September 11, right? Like that's just very spooky reminiscent.
It was spooky that they isn't that because the Twin Tower like already
so he like, and he falls off at like the man, like the people jumping off the So it's very,
Yo.
and that's another thing where a lot of films can't be like that. It wouldn't have flown.
Even the film, they probably
But,
cut that scene.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
extremely.
and that scene that the cut was, Kubrick. I mean, if you watch Clockwork Orange, like
Yeah.
that whole scene with the penis place and
Yeah.
PG-13, but penis. So, in what do you call that city again? The Sex City.
Rouge City, yeah.
Rouge City. Apparently, they were like that. There was like
They're supposed to be
penises
more derogatory.
But like they had to like take it off because they
Yeah.
wanted to make the movie PG-13
Yeah,
for kids
yeah.
to watch. But I think if they really let him be, I think that movie would have probably not been greater.
Yeah, that's where if the director was Kubrick, he might have went
Yeah, he
that
would have
far.
gone
With
left.
Spielberg at least.
Yeah,
Spielberg knows that he has like the audience, and you have
Yeah.
to do certain things to have a film
Yeah.
be seen by more people,
More people, yeah.
which is just as important sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a genius.
oh yeah,
So yeah, he falls into the water
yeah.
or ocean at that point, and then he gets a glimpse of something.
Well, some fantastical stuff happens. He falls in the water, and like fish kind of
Fish,
guide him
right.
to a Coney Island exhibition
Yeah.
of Pinocchio.
Yeah, the things that with that I didn't find it's fascinating, but I thought like the robots would, like the fish usually would do that because they're also mechanical. They're not real fishes.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, you didn't notice they're robot fishes. Like.
Oh shoot!
So I thought they were just using like that magnetic field thing to take
to
it.
help him.
Yeah,
Dang, sure.
to just put him somewhere, like just carrying him along with the current because they're all robots. But yeah, they're not fishes. They're not real fishes. Everything is dead there. Actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was like, dude, I was so caught up at that point. I was
You were
like, dude.
yeah, it's so fascinating though. It's
Yeah.
like it's pretty much a fairy tale at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And David, yeah, dude, he committed like that was dark when he just like was on the ledge and falls
Yeah.
over. I was like,
It's like I've given up on everything.
yeah. So he sees the
I
blue
can't
fairy.
meet my mom anymore.
I know. So he sees the blue fairy. That's like what we're getting at. He glimpses the blue fairy, but then as he's drowning and like losing consciousness, he's saved and pulled out by Gigolo Joe in the helicopter. And at this point, it's a really kind of pivotal scene where Gigolo Joe saves David, but then Gigolo Joe is caught
Yeah.
through some magnetic field thing.
Then
And he kind of has his last kind of say in life. And that
was sad.
was sad, bro. And he says yo, remember me, talk about me like with your women friends. and he hits him with the I am and I was.
And I was.
So
what
like,
does that mean? Can you explain?
yeah, I feel like it shows that like robots have like a sense of
Awareness?
identity.
Yeah,
They have like, yo, I am Gigolo Joe and I was, so I existed,
Wow.
right? Like,
Yeah, no matter what, even if they destroy me.
and I think that's where memories are so important in the
Wow.
passage of time and even evolution, just to know where we come from. And Gigolo, yeah, that was so sad. Gigolo Joe, man. And like, it's funny earlier on when he does like the dance stuff and David's like, why do you do that?
Why do you do that?
And he says, it's because it's me, right? It's like, it's who I am. Like this is,
Wow.
so he is like, robots can be different. And Gigolo Joe and David have like this really deep connection. Like kind of, Gigolo Joe saved David from losing hope way earlier in the film.
Yeah. I think just to pause a little bit as we're narrating the movie, I think the actors like
Oh my gosh,
Haley Joel
Joel Osment.
we'll get to him,
Yeah,
but Jude Law,
dude,
like he is, I don't know, is he respected a lot?
dude, yeah, Jude Law is respected now
Okay.
for sure. Yeah,
He's so great. Like you do feel like he's different.
yeah, he's very different.
I felt like that's a robot or
Yeah.
like a sex robot.
Yeah, dude, and he's
The makeup too was great. Like
oh yeah, and some of the
Spielberg
special
always
effects.
gets good special effects. and all
Yeah,
that. Like
dude.
he gets top tier. I
When
don't
he
know
changes the hair and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And
That movie looks better than a lot of movies that are made now. Even
yeah, for sure.
like hands down. I know we have better technology, but that movie looks better than most movies I've seen.
Dude, yeah. But Jude Law was fantastic.
Right.
I remember I read something where Kubrick couldn't make the movie earlier because he also thought like he needed CGI or something because he didn't think humans could act as robots.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then you have Haley Joel Osment kind of kill it, being creepy robot. And,
okay, we'll get to it.
yeah, we'll go on. But
yeah, just trying to wrap up the idea because we're almost close to the end, right?
Yeah.
So then he escapes, right? Because Jude Law pretty much Gigolo Joe saves his life. Sorry.
yeah, and submerges him
him into the ocean, and then he goes to look for the blue fairy.
So the the submarine contraption thing. Takes him down into the ocean.
Pad,
Yeah,
submarine
it's the future, right? So everything works. Takes him to, and they see the blue fairy, which is just like a Coney Island statue of a blue fairy.
Yeah.
And
pretty much an amusement park.
Yeah.
Like Ponycure amusement park.
Yeah. And then something kind of ends up, they moved a few things and a Ferris wheel falls on top of them and traps them alone with this statue of a blue fairy. And it's only Teddy
and him.
And he just keeps wishing to be a boy.
To be a real boy. So I searched this up.
Yeah.
The time where David was 2,142.
Yeah.
And okay, as we said, like David was wishing to be a real. Please make me a real boy. Please make me a real boy.
Yeah.
And he just stays there forever and ever
until
and he freezes up until 4,142, and all those numbers are the same 214 2214142. And it's crazy that he kept on wishing to be until he froze. He got frozen, and by that time, all humans have died, and now there were aliens.
There's an ice age, and I'm pretty sure they weren't technically aliens. I guess they're just like super mecha versions. They're like super robots.
Oh, you think they're super robots?
Yeah,
I thought they were like.
No, dude, I watched an interview with Steven Spielberg, and
he said they were super robots that were made.
Yeah, they're like the evolution of like David. Like they're the super robots that kept evolving. So they're like.
Oh, so what Jiggler? Sorry for cutting. So what Jiggler just said was true. They eventually came forward where the humans passed, but the human robots were made so much that they could probably make themselves and advance themselves.
And they got to a point where they didn't need to look like humans anymore. So that's why they're like just those
no
kind of
skin, nothing.
Like, and I think they said something like they went from like carbon beings to like silicon beings was keep. I mean, Spielberg was talking about. So that's why, and it's very like up and like you can say they look like aliens, right?
I mean, they did look. I mean, skinny, tall, no need for muscles or anything.
Yeah,
everything's intellectual and everyone's connected, right?
Yeah, but they get to become super mecha versions of like robots, and they're just constantly on a search for their own kind of meaning, and it's like an endless search. It's like
pretty much
same as humans trying to find meaning in their lives. These robots evolved 2,000 years into the future.
So you wanted to see how humans were.
Yeah, and the only thing they could, and they end up finding David.
and he's pretty much special now again.
Yeah,
right? He's the only one. Like no one
has memories
of how humans were really like.
Yeah.
Although they did say they could bring humans back, but they only last for like a day, and at that point they can't even get much information because once they realize what's happening, they just die.
Yeah. So David is very special, and they want to kind of preserve David.
Make him happy. And
but David's biggest dream is to just be loved by his parents. So they come to him and like they create his own home and everything, and they say like, oh, we can't create your parents because we don't have any physical DNA
or DNA them. Or something. Yeah.
And then Teddy brings out the hair that he cut earlier in the film.
Yeah.
And he explains, like you said, that if we bring her back, she can only last for a day. And David's like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
And so they run like a simulation kind of thing where they bring her back for a day. She wakes up, and David kind of gets to do all the things he always wanted to do with his mom. Like he makes her coffee.
Yeah, make it the way you like it.
They have a little birthday party. They play hide and seek.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
Yeah. So we were talking about this before, like the ending. A lot of people kind of don't enjoy the ending because they find it somewhat sentimental.
Yeah, sentimental.
In that David ends up having the perfect day. Like the thing that he finds, like that's the meaning of his life is just to have a great, like just to be loved. And ends up in the end, he goes to sleep with the mother, and he closes his eyes, and I'm pretty sure that's the only time he closes his eyes in the whole film.
Really?
So
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because he's a robot. Yeah, so dude, Haley Joel Osment, pretty. So he ends up closing his eyes and kind of deactivating himself.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because
I have a quote. Yeah, I think he did say, "I love you," or maybe the mom says, "I love." Yes, it's when the mom says, "I love you," and I've always loved you.
Yeah,
I think that's when he felt accomplished because she was about to die, and he felt like I've fulfilled it. Like my mission has been done. I've finally gotten the love that
Yeah,
want my mom
and there's
to give
such,
me.
and it's kind of eerie too because they have that scene where they pan up and you see all the super mecha people looking down and watching,
just watching them.
and it's kind of sad because it's just like those robots wanted to keep David alive too. They wanted to have him around and stuff, but David's wish.
Do you think he was destroyed? Like he actually did deactivate himself?
Yeah,
after that?
that's what I feel. Yeah, because like he
Ooh.
closed his eyes because he would never close his eyes, right?
Right too.
Yeah. So I think he would never close his eyes unless he's just gone.
Oh man.
So I think
good. I actually didn't pick that up.
yeah. So that's what I'm pretty sure. That's
And
what
Teddy's
I feel.
just up there.
Yeah, and Teddy's just there.
Guardian angel, always there.
And I think a lot of people found it sentimental because
Yeah.
David
So you didn't like
supposedly
that?
yeah, because he got like the great
Good
ending.
ending.
But it's actually I found it super sad because I felt like it wasn't. I didn't think it was his real mother.
It was never. I mean,
Yeah.
they said it was though. Like,
Yeah,
they
they
do
said-
bring them back, and
Yeah.
they do have some of the memories. But you
Mhm.
can't just.
You can't simulate a human being that's
Yeah.
gone, and so it's just he just gets everything simulated that he ever wanted, which is kind of sad because it's not like a real, it's not a real human. It's not like a real connection, but he's happy with that.
Mm.
So I don't know. I found it very just eerie
It was
kind of.
scary. But I think I was researching on it, and people said the reason why they also hated it because they feel Kubrick wouldn't have done that at the end. That's the Spielberg thing to add the last. They pretty much just said the last 20 minutes of the movie
Yeah.
was Spielberg trying to bring everything because that's how he does his movie. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be a good ending, and you feel happy at the end. And
Yeah.
I did feel good. Like I felt the whole movie came together.
It did. Yeah.
If it went the other way, yes, I won't mind. But like, it does give you a good feeling that okay,
yeah.
this robot/kid definitely got what he wanted.
Yeah, and he worked so hard to
He
get it.
worked so hard. And that's what humans should be. Like I have a quote here. I do believe what I got out the movie, right, was that like dreams do come true. You know,
Yeah.
it's not how you might envision it or how you want it to plan out,
Mm-hmm.
but if you really work towards what you want and
Yeah.
believe in it, and that's what you wholeheartedly want,
Yeah, wholeheartedly want.
it can come true. It might not be the way you plan, but it will come true.
Yeah.
Just keep persevering, man.
Yeah, I think that's a thing where they say like dreams never fade away, but people just stop chasing them.
Yes. Oh my God, give me that.
You know, and that's just so true, right? Like
Ding.
the only thing that's gonna stop a dream from happening,
It's you.
and
man.
I think the pursuit of a dream is just as important
Yeah.
because that's where David got to kind of become a human, right? Through Gigolo Joe and all those
Yeah.
guys.
That actually hits a nerve, you know, because I'm going to share a little story about myself because I did want to be
Yeah.
a web developer. There's a period where I really want, and I learned a lot, and I don't regret the experience I got because it kind of plays a part into my life eventually.
Yeah.
But I stopped chasing that dream, and I wonder some days what my life would have been if I kept doing that, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I question myself: is it that I wasn't smart enough or good enough? Is that a fire alarm?
I don't know.
Well, sorry, apologies for that. Maybe we try and cut that out, but we're
Yeah.
almost done anyway,
Yeah.
so we'll just go with it. But yeah, I really, yeah. So if you, whatever dreams you have, just chase them, man. Like even what we're doing, I believe is a dream too, you know.
Yeah.
I thought we have to keep persevering and keep pushing. You know?
Yeah, I think that goes hand in hand with just like, there's like a concept of like once you get older, like you're not like, things won't happen for you as much. But I really like youth just blooms eternally. It depends on like how you feel about things, right? And like us doing this podcast, I feel like it's like super exciting and super fun. And I don't think I would have done this if I had made different decisions in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm super glad to be here with Abdul.
Yeah.
And to do these things. It's just
It's so crazy. Like if we didn't meet each other and
oh my God.
like even when we met each other, did you even think this was what's gonna come out?
Nah,
It
dude.
was probably just two friends just chilling.
Yeah.
Like life is funny, you
I
know,
know.
and I can't wait to see what
we-
future holds for us.
Dude, I still remember the first time I met you.
What
Yeah,
happened?
you
I
remember-
can't remember.
yeah, you don't
My memory's
remember?
so bad.
Yeah.
what
Remember I just said like, hey man, you have like a good vibe.
No
Yeah,
way.
that was like the first thing I said to you. And I was like new. I wasn't in this city yet. So I was like meeting all these people and I was just like, dude, you have a good vibe. And then
For
I think,
real?
yeah, and you're like, dude, thanks. And I just remember that vividly. And it was just like, and then we just became fast friends after that. And I was like,
Oh
if
my
I hadn't said that, maybe we wouldn't have been as good friends.
I actually can't remember that. My
Dude,
memory's
for real?
so bad. Yeah.
Dude, I remember that clearly. So I just remember like being around you, and I was like, dude, this guy's got a really good vibe.
Wow.
And I was like, that's another thing that I do these days. It's like, it's this idea like see it and say it. So if you see something, dude, say it, man. It's like not worth like keeping it to yourself.
Oh, dude, it's so crazy that you say that. I was watching an interview of Pharrell because he dropped a new human race shoes. And he's the person who, I mean, I watched it. Someone was pretty much commenting. Yeah. And this person said the same thing. Like Pharrell is like that. When he feels like you're doing something great. Yeah. And in the interview, he did the same thing. It's like, you are really amazing. Like what you're doing. And he said it at that moment. And it doesn't take anything away from you, but you're acknowledging what the person is presenting to you. You're giving off the same energy. Yeah. Right? So that's so ironic that you bring that up. Wow. Dude, man. Crazy. I watched that yesterday and you're saying that now.
Dude, I really believe that. Like, I think there's so many times where you see something and you just let it slide by and then it's just like, that's a thing that can connect you with another person really deeply. Like, if you just say something, like when you see it, say it, you know?
Yeah.
And
I agree with you.
Man. I think that's another, and it's like the film too, man. Like, I don't know if, David, like if he didn't meet Gigolo Joe and like attach him, like there's
like he pretty much held his hand. That's the reason why the mail was because he held his hand. He didn't want to let him go. I still don't get that part, but he just decided to like, don't let me go, don't let him take me. You know? And look how the connection they have. Yeah, I think now we should segment to Harley Joe Osment.
Oh man,
I think. All time, like I'm saying this, all time greatest child actor, whatever. I know there's some amazing child actors nowadays, but I don't think anyone that's met me felt like he's like what he did in that movie. That and this sense, what the other movie that he did with
dude, he was everywhere in like a period of time.
Yeah, sorry, let me get that up really, but you can compliment him as I try and search.
Dude, yeah, like and
The Sixth Sense. Sorry, my apologies.
And this is like
he was really good in that too.
And these are like deep, like. Tough movies. Like these aren't like a superhero movie where he's jumping around like in a CGI costume. He's just straight up like performing as a robot as like a little kid. And some of the scenes
man, when he like, cries, when he's being serious, when he's trying to be creepy. Yeah. Like God.
Some of those scenes in the lighting is great when he peeks over, when they have the cut of him just peeking over the table and just like looking at his mom. I'm just like,
it's like how can a kid do that?
Yeah.
How can a kid do that?
Yeah, man. So he was phenomenal. He really carried this film too.
No, he did. I'm pretty picky on things. I tried to notice a lot of things, but it just clicked to me. The scene where they unfreeze him, where he's in the helicopter. Yeah. That was so bad. Come on, Steven. You could have done better. They only freeze his face, so they try and make his face, and his whole clothes are like good and not even wet or anything. I'm like, come on, man.
But I like the acting in that because when he got out, he kind of like broke out.
No, he wasn't great in that. In my opinion,
I thought he was decent. Like I thought he would have. Like,
he could have done that better, in my opinion.
Maybe, but I enjoyed it because like it's like that idea. Like he's still a robot, but he kind of like stepped out and like broken up, kind of.
I mean, he does. Yeah. I think maybe the thing I'm just picking on is just the idea of the clothes. Like, come on, man. Yeah. How can you? His face is frozen. Like the makeup people, why didn't you think about just make it a bit wet or put some ice stuff? But his clothes were like brand new and
no, they're crispy, dude. He's like Avatar, man. He came out of that iceberg and he's just like.
But he's amazing. I think he deserves all his praises. I think now he's trying to get back into the movie industry. He's doing well here and there, but obviously I don't think he can top what he did as a kid.
Yeah, this film is extremely underrated. More people should check this out.
I told my roommate, I was like, you have to watch this. I have to ask him if you watch this. I think it's really underrated. A lot of people don't know about it, but
I think it's just
you feel good, man. I felt really good.
Yeah, and you can dig into it too. It's a real and I think it's just because Spielberg's like filmography is so great and he's got such big movies that the lower ones don't get.
Those ones always pushed down
a little bit. Yeah,
I think we have to do another movie from Steven.
Oh, dude!
I think I know there's enough. Yeah. I've seen clips of E.T. Maybe I watched that as a kid.
Oh, bro!
But I think we have to do that because I can't remember me watching it. So maybe we should watch.
And another quick thing, dude, about Spielberg is like, dude, he's got such a way with the camera movements and like the lighting that it's like
some things are cheesy though. I won't lie to you.
But I think he knows it's cheesy, and like you know how like you know in music when they have like a guitarist and they say like. He's hitting the same notes, but they feel different because the tone is in his hands. Yeah, dude, there's like something about the movement and like the cinematography of Spielberg's eyes that are just like, especially in that early part of the movie, I like already knew like this is Spielberg, man. Like it's just like so comforting, like the movement of the cameras.
Yeah.
And like if you watch Jurassic Park or all those E.T. and stuff, the movement and everything like that is just so comforting, and it's just like, dude, it's Spielberg, man.
I need to watch more of his catalog and his stuff, because after watching this, man, I love Scorsese, but this guy is close, man.
Dude, he's
I love Scorsese because Scorsese gives me the other side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy gives me the side where he gets me. Like, I don't know, maybe I have a inner child in me. I don't know, but he gets me.
That's what I think a lot of people talk about Spielberg is he can reach that like inner child that like I don't think a lot of other directors really do properly.
Yeah, he does for sure.
And
he hits a nerve there.
Spielberg's another breed though. Like they're like same beast but different breed.
Breed.
Yeah, that's how it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love them. All right, so let's try and wrap things up.
Yeah, man.
I think again, this is probably the best movie. It is the best movie we've reviewed so far.
I feel so. Yeah.
Personally, to me, it's probably the best movie I've watched this year.
Dude, that's great.
There's more to come. Maybe
Yeah.
there'll probably be some that will beat it, but so far, it's the best thing I've watched. Bless for recommending it, man. That was also recommend.
That was a recommend. Also, it's congratulations. It's like the 20th anniversary of the film too. No joke. It came out 20 years ago.
I think you gave me the movie list and I picked that one.
You picked it.
And you didn't even plan. You didn't know it was the anniversary.
No, I didn't. I just found out about it.
Jeez.
When I checked out like what date.
What's happening in this world?
And I gave you 5 movies that I kind of want to review, and you straight up picked this one. And I was hyped to see it too. So like when dude, it was great. And it's just like such a deep, fun movie that you can talk about for hours.
I feel like I can talk about it for hours, and I think this is probably our longest episode too.
Man, I don't know.
But it's definitely when
this might be a 2-parter or something.
God damn. I mean, we'll cut some parts out. I feel this is definitely some, especially at the end. Probably could cut some part. Anyway, that's post-production stuff. Now it's time to rate it. I think we always rate it out of 5. I'm gonna give this, as much as I love it so much. I don't know. I don't want to give it a 4, so I'll just give it 3.5. It's the best movie I've watched, but I can't give it a 4. I think maybe that's why I always run away from Spielberg's movies, because I think it's made for the general people, and that's the only reason why I'm dropping the 0.5. I think there's a lot of deeper meaning, and maybe the reason why I love this movie too is because of Kubrick. Like, if this was a solo Kubrick movie, maybe I'll be a bit biased and give it a 4. I'm being honest.
You're good.
But I think Steven kind of tamed a lot of things in this, so that's why I'm giving it 3. Well, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Yeah.
You too?
No, dude. I'm giving it a solid 4.
Solid 4? It's
and I think,
strong 4? Jeez.
Yeah, I think it's a strong 4. I think I think it's a movie that people will look back on Steven Spielberg's career a lot deeper.
And be like, that was
other
unique.
than like directing wise, of course, like Jurassic Park and all those ones are just phenomenal. Like they're very just perfect kind of type movies. But if you kind of want to dig deep on like what Steven Spielberg kind of thinks about like all this futuristic stuff and Kubrick's concepts, which are what I think you really like about the movie too. I think this is like a great movie that people will look back on. And dude, like even the intro with like the climate change and robots and all this stuff.
I was great.
Dude, like this is like for real.
That's how
like,
he does movies.
Like this one was a bit
that
different.
Narration and
but I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. And it's probably my favorite movie that we reviewed so far. I gotta work on my reviews, man, because I feel like my numbering system is kind of weird.
Someday we'll go back and figure that out and see.
Maybe we'll just work on it. Yeah.
But as I said, I gave it 3.5. He gave it a 4. Make sure you leave a comment down the YouTube section and just let us know how you felt about the movie. What would you rate it as? And let us know what you feel. And leave a like, subscribe, and make sure you follow us on Spotify. You want to add anything before we cut out?
Please like, comment, subscribe. We want to talk about the movie even more, and we'd love to hear your opinions.
And eventually, maybe like as we get more audience, we'd like to like have emails sent in and talk about how you guys felt about some of the movies we watched and probably debate about it.
And if there's things you like about our podcast, please like mention it so we keep doing it. And if there's things that you think could be different, leave a comment, dude. We're just starting out and we'd love to hear.
Yeah.
But check out the Instagram and the Spotify and the YouTube, and we're gonna try and be more active on the social media too. But I think
thank you.
Yeah, AI Artificial Intelligence. Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank
Peace.
you.
And that's it for another episode of the Tabs and Tash Podcast. The Tabs and Tash. That's it for another episode of the Tabs and Tash Podcast from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hope to see you all soon.